Hello, I'm Ann DeStefano, Director of Adult Programs at the Church of St. Anne, Avon, Connecticut. And I want to say thank you for joining me today to learn a little bit more about small groups. I've been part of a small group for about 25 years, and this is one of my favorite topics to talk about when it comes to faith formation. We are like family in our small group at this point. I'm just so excited to share with you what small groups are all about so that you might have the same experience. So let me just share my screen here and we'll get into it. So what are small groups? Okay, they are quite simply getting together with others to grow in faith and experience community. And why do we have small groups in the church? Well, starting from the very essential, God exists as a small group. Yes, God the Father, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit, which is the Holy Trinity, exists in this fellowship of love. And every time we join together with other people in a small group to learn more about God, we experience this community of love that God shares amongst ourselves. Also, it's a well-known fact that Jesus loved a small group, right? Jesus had his 12, apostles. He met with small groups of people, had dinners with people. Jesus was all about small groups. Small groups can make a larger parish seem a little bit more intimate. And that's a really powerful thing for kind of engaging people in their church. Small groups came to sort of a heyday in the 1980s through a movement called Renew. This was sort of in response to all the changes that had been happening in the church after Vatican II. So maybe you've heard of Renew small groups. So here's my small group. We've done some changing over the years. We've, lost a family due to a move. We gained a new family, and we just love getting together. We get together about 2 different times during the year to have our small group. Back in the day, we called it open hearths because we met at each other's houses. So here's my small group. Okay, so again, small groups are regular gatherings with friends where you talk and laugh and learn and pray and also serve together, living out your faith through service. They're really effective because you're not just learning on your own, you're learning with other people. You're getting the benefit of their experiences, their reactions to what you're learning, which is a really great way to learn sort of holistically. Small groups are really key for these times. We've gone through so much isolation with the pandemic. And we really do need to get back together again, get back together en masse at Mass, on Sundays, but also with other people in smaller groups to just have some real tight community. So when's a good time to form a small group? Anytime. But we have found that Lent and Advent are really key times for small group creation, because that's the time that the church invites us to kind of step out of our regular routine and attend to our relationship with God. So it's just a natural time to say, let's do a small group. Speaking of Lent, it's coming up next Wednesday, March 2nd, and that's why we're inviting you to look at small groups right now so that you might consider forming one or joining one of ours at the parish for Lent. So what do you need? 3 things. You need people. That's simple, right? Just invite your friends. 6 to 10 people is generally a good size. You can have fewer as long as you're going to kind of sort of commit to coming every time. You can have more. Jesus had 12, but 6 to 10 keeps the conversation sort of manageable and enables everybody to share. You need good subject matter. We have got that for you. The Office of Adult Faith Formation has great materials for you, from books to videos to workbooks and all kinds of things. We also have this great new resource at St. Anne's, this online subscription service called formed.org, which is available to you for free this year. more than 4,000 different offerings for adults, teens, kids. There's lots of materials there. And then you need a process, how to do a small group effectively. So we will train you how to lead a small group. It's not a big deal, but there are some best practices that we like to share. There's a code of conduct that you follow to make sure that everyone feels that this is a safe place for them to kind of share openly. And we set expectations together. We've got discussion guides and prayers for you. We've got everything you need for your process. So this Lent, we have a couple things to offer if you'd like to engage in a small group. For people who are sort of at we're calling it the 201 level of faith and beyond that. So not a beginner in the faith, not a newcomer, but someone who has a relationship with God but wants to grow deeper. We have this great series on Formed called Into His Likeness. And it's about how following Jesus as a true disciple can transform us. It's really great, very engaging. The host is Dr. Edward Sri, who's a really wonderful presenter. And there's a discussion guide and a fee for that book, for that series. We're also recommending for people who maybe need a refresher in their faith or a real introduction to the faith. Maybe you've got some skeptics in your group of friends. You've got people who have some doubts. That's okay. We welcome questions because the church has wonderful answers. And when you question, that's how you can grow deeper in your faith and really make it your own. So we recommend the Search, which is available on Formed for free to you. And we have a discussion guide for that as well. That discussion guide is free. What if you've got kids? No worries. Clearly, we had kids in our small group for many, many years. We've got great resources for families. So just reach out to me and I will point you in that direction. What's a typical session like? You can gather from 1 hour, really, if you want to keep it real short, to 2 hours. We typically say about 90 minutes to 2 hours for a good rhythm. Hospitality is important. Catholics are about breaking bread and wine together, right? It helps relax people, it builds community and a sense of trust. And we're really about building friendships here, not just learning about faith, right? So just something simple, food and drink. Then you make some introductions, hand out the discussion guides. There's typically an opening prayer included. As you get to know one another, maybe a session or two in, you could feel a little bit more open sharing prayer intentions with one another. Something that is going on in your life that you'd like support with, or you want to share some great news to celebrate together. That's what prayer intention time is for. Then you view the video or you read the content. Perhaps you're doing a homework-based small group where you do the reading or watch the video in advance and then you discuss it. This is the time for that. You discuss, your impressions of the content. What did you notice? What kind of challenged you, etc. And we have some questions, that you can follow along with. And then it's really important to talk about, key takeaways. What do you want to take with you after this session is over? We're really distracted people these days. So focusing at the end on a takeaway is a good thing. Then you close in prayer and you decide who's going to host next. So the 10 commandments of small group discussion are here for you. I will not go over them right now. You can read them when you view this at your leisure. If you're not on Formed yet, I really encourage you to sign in. We've got instructions for doing that. Again, it's completely free to you. So visit our webpage. We've got a little how-to video on how to navigate your way through. You can pause right now and scan this QR code and get it on your phone. Formed is an amazing resource, and there's stuff for everyone. I'm going to provide a link here for this short 10-minute facilitator training session that really hits the highlights of how you make a small group run smoothly, how you draw out the quieter people, how you kind of temper the oversharers, how you get, if you get off track, how you get back onto the topic. So this is a really great resource that we borrow from our friends at Ascension Press. So please do watch that. And if you have any questions, I'm here for you. If you're not quite ready to lead, I understand that. We invite you to join a small group yourself, be a participant, and see how it goes. We've got 3 different groups meeting Sundays, Sunday mornings, Monday evenings, and Friday mornings, some in person, some on Zoom, some both. So sign up for those and try it out with us leading you, and then you might feel a little bit more comfortable. If you're not ready for a weekly commitment during this Lent, we've got this wonderful evening planned for our parishioners and friends called Whiskey, Wine, and Cheese. So yep, we're going to have some tasty hospitality there, and a great speaker in our friend Kelly Hendersheet from the Archdiocese of Hartford. She is a fantastic speaker, very down to earth, and is going to get us geared up for Holy Week. We're not going to talk about Lent anymore. How'd your Lent go, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to move on from that point of nearly into Holy Week and focus more on, okay, we're looking towards the resurrection of Jesus at Easter. What do I need resurrected in my spiritual life? Where do I need some refreshment, some renewal? It's going to be great. So join us for that. RSVP to me. All right. So that is, in a nutshell, small groups. Again, I am here for you to answer any questions, to offer guidance to you, to walk you through the materials that we have and help you choose something great to offer. Again, take it from me, who's been doing small groups for over 2 decades. It's a really great way to learn alongside other people, and to grow closer to God as you grow closer to one another. Thanks for watching. God bless.